Hey, Jason here from Simply Swider. So if your Bosch dishwasher is showing that frustrating E09 error code and your dishes are coming out cold and dirty, don't worry. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to fix it. The good news is most of the time, this is something you can handle yourself and save a couple $100 on a service call. Before we get started, if you run into any questions, jump into our Facebook group. Links in the description. We've got thousands of people helping each other fix their appliances, and I pop in there daily to help out. So the number one culprit here is the heat pump assembly itself burning out. And I'm talking about probably 85% of E09 codes I see. This thing's got the heating element built right into the circulation pump. And when it goes bad, your water stays stone cold the entire cycle. You'll know it's this when you open that door mid-cycle and the water feels like it just came out of your cold tap. Here's how we test it, and this is important. First, disconnect both power and water to your dishwasher. You'll need a multimeter and basic hand tools. Then pull out your dishwasher and access that heat pump from the right side panel. You're going to find two terminals on there, usually connected to red wires. Set your multimeter to resistance and check across those terminals. If you're getting a reading between 7, 9, and 11, 3 ohms on a 110 volt unit, or 17 to 21 ohms on a 240 volt unit, your element's good. I'll put these numbers on screen so you can pause and check your readings. But if you're seeing 0 ohms or that old reading, your heating element is toast and you need to replace the whole assembly. The fix is swapping out that entire heat pump. Parts like number 1, 2008381 or 007533351, depending on your model. Safety tip here. Make sure you've got both power and water disconnected before you start pulling things apart. Another thing that'll trigger E09 is faulty wiring or a bad temperature sensor. I had this customer last month who was convinced her heat pump was dead, but it turned out to be corroded connections from a small leak that happened months earlier. The NTC sensor, that's the temperature sensor, can send bogus readings to the control board and make it think there's a heating problem when there isn't. Look for loose connections, corrosion around the terminals, or any signs of water damage in the wiring harness. If you see green corrosion on those connectors, clean them up with some contact cleaner. To test the NTC sensor, set your multimeter to ohms and check the resistance between pins 1, 2, and pins 2, 3. Your owner's manual will have the correct values, but I'm showing typical readings on screen right now. If your numbers are way off from these ranges, the sensor needs replacement. Sometimes it's as simple as reseating a connector that's worked loose from all the vibration. When the control board starts acting up, it can throw E09 codes even when everything else is working fine. This happened to one of my regular customers. We replaced the heat pump, checked all the wiring, and that E09 just kept coming back. Turned out the relay on the main board that sends power to the heating element had failed. The tricky part is this one's tough to diagnose without swapping parts. Your clue that it might be the board is when E09 persists after you've confirmed the heat pump and wiring are good. Try a power reset first. Unplug the unit for at least 5 seconds and see if that clears any electronic glitches. If the error comes right back and you've ruled out the pump and wiring, you're probably looking at a control board replacement. Here's one that catches people off guard. Sometimes E09 pops up because of water sitting in the base pan triggering the leak detection system. The dishwasher's computer gets confused and throws heating error codes when it's actually detecting moisture where it shouldn't be. Pull off that front access panel and check for any standing water in the base. If you find water down there, soak it up completely with towels and make sure that float switch can move freely. After you've got everything dried out, check your drain pump and hoses for any leaks that might be causing water to accumulate. This is one of those fixes that takes 5 minutes but can save you from replacing expensive parts you don't actually need. All right, so the E09 code is basically your dishwasher's way of saying, hey, something's wrong with my heating system. Now I'm going to walk you through the most common causes of this error, starting with the part that fails 90% of the time and working our way through the trickier stuff. Here's what we're dealing with when you see E09. Your water's staying cold, your dishes aren't getting clean, and that error code just keeps staring at you from the display. The heat pump assembly runs between $130 and $480 depending on your model. I'll put links to reliable parts suppliers in the description below. Compare that to a typical service call of $300 and $500 just for labor, and you can see why this DIY repair makes sense. You can find these at appliance parts dealers or order them online. This is definitely worth fixing yourself. Even at the higher end, you're saving a couple hundred on labor costs. This repair takes about 45 minutes to an hour and requires basic tools like screwdrivers and pliers. The assembly weighs about 8–10 pounds, so you'll want to support it properly during installation. Take your time positioning it. Rushing this step leads to seal problems later. One thing to watch out for: make sure you get the rubber seal lubricated when you install the new one, or you'll have leaks. Control boards are where things get expensive and risky. You're looking at potentially high costs, and a lot of times these are special order items with no returns if you're wrong about the diagnosis. Plus, Bosch recommends professional installation for control board work. I'd say try everything else on this list before you go down this road. If you do need a board, make absolutely sure you've got the right part number because they're model specific. For wiring issues, you might not need any parts at all. Sometimes it's just cleaning and reconnecting. If you do need to replace damaged wiring, costs vary depending on what's damaged. Simple connector repairs might cost you nothing but time, while a full harness replacement could get pricey. The key is catching wiring problems early before they damage other components. You can see on the screen right now some of the most common models that run into these E09 issues. Take a look, you might spot your own dishwasher up there. From what I've seen in the field, this problem tends to hit certain model ranges harder than others, especially units that are about 5 to 7 years old, where that heat pump starts wearing out. So there you have it, your complete guide to fixing the Bosch E09 error code. Remember your troubleshooting order. First, test the heat pump assembly, since that's your 85% solution. Then check your wiring connections, and finally, consider the control board if everything else checks out. Most of the time, you're looking at a heat pump replacement that'll cost you way less than a service call. Remember, disconnect power and water before you start any of these repairs. Safety first, people. If you guys know someone who's having appliance troubles, please send them the link to this video or a link to my channel where I have tons of other videos showing how to fix pretty common issues with appliances, sometimes for free or as little cost as possible. It sure beats having a repairman come out and spending several hundred for them to fix it when it could be something so simple. If this helped you get your Bosch dishwasher heating again, hit that like button and drop a comment below. Let me know which fix worked for you. Really helps other people with the same problem. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We'll get this out to more folks who need to save some time and money. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.